Hey there, I'm Neil. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the host and producer of Pause and Rewind, the podcast that chats to changemakers, thought leaders and role models who all share a common goal. They're striving to make the world a more inclusive place. And, let's face it, we need it. Each guest has a unique story when it comes to doing their thing, and we often know who people are in the now, but how much do we really know about them? Pause and Rewind takes a moment to explore the experiences, realisations and relationships in my guest's life that led them to where and who they are now, because everyone loves an origin story. We'll dive into tales, anecdotes and a little of what makes our guest tick. So whether you're here for insights or inspo or simply want to know about your heroes, this podcast is for you. You might never know someone's story, but if you pay attention, you'll hear it, you'll see it and you'll feel it. So, are you ready to pause and rewind? Hey there and welcome to another episode of Pause and Rewind. I cannot believe that we are already 4 episodes into this season and I've got so much more to come. There's episodes lined up right up until December and yeah, some incredible guests as always. This conversation is with Timon. Timon is the personal assistant to Lady Phyll, co-founder and executive director of UK Black Pride, former guest on the podcast and all-round icon as you know. But Timon is also an activist and a DJ. This conversation, it is epic. It's enlightening, it's spiritual. It was really so much in it is what I needed to hear right now as a human and how I show up in the world. And Timon really opens up. We talk about Timon growing up in Kenya with 6 older brothers. We talk about their journey of healing and transness and discovery. Discovery is a fundamental part of Timon's story. We also cover their move to the UK and where they are now and how they view the world. And that's how the conversation starts, with describing their world right now as limitless. There's so much in here. I know you're going to love it. Just a little bit of a trigger warning. We do cover brief in the initial bit of the conversation around Timon's story. We do cover the topic of sexual abuse. So please do take care of yourself whilst listening. But here's the conversation. Get into it. Cheers. Hey there, Timon. Welcome to Pause and Rewind. I am so thrilled to have you here.
You're welcome. I am excited to, I've been wanting to have a conversation with you, and I feel like your platform is the best to do that. So why not we just launch and just cruise free, easy.
And I've loved getting to know you over the last couple of years. And I'm going to start with a question I ask all my guests, and that's, what does the world look like for Timon right now?
I feel like the world is limitless. For now, I've been feeling I'm moving in an abundance flow, not in abundance in terms of material things, just the realization that everything is within me, within my reach, anything that I would want. And that puts me in a place where I not need to be selfish about what I want to have, what I don't want to have. It's like walking into a supermarket, there are no price tags. Everything is there that you need. Everything you ever desire is in that supermarket. Things that you love seeing growing up, things that you desire from other people growing up, things that you want, things that you potentially want to have in your life are in that store. And you're just spoiled, looking around. You're still mesmerized in the store, looking around. So that's how my life is. I'm looking around okay, so where do I start? What do I reach out to first? What do I want to have first? What can really represent me? So that flow of abundance, I feel like it's a currency currently moving through me. And it's been amazing. People around me have been able to feel it, see it by I think by the growth they've seen me, who I was and who I am right now. So they just feel like I'm just oozing of abundance, oozing of love, oozing of softness, which is something that I'm introducing into my life slowly, oozing of just being much more friendlier, happier, joyful, jovial, childlike. Man, that's all I can say.
I mean, wow, like I've just got goosebumps listening to you talk about that. Real hard relate on the softness actually. I'm trying to tap into the softness a little bit more.
Yeah.
As an observer and someone who's known you for a few years now, kind of like in the background, first communicating around Dr. Lady Phil's honorary graduation through to today, I've got to know you a little bit well, and I can see it as an observer over the last few months, in how I've got to know you and the conversations we've had. And I've been a witness to some really beautiful moments for you. Firstly, your speech on stage at the Rainbow Honours Awards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you threw that 1 minute time limit out the window, but
Yeah.
you needed to, and it was stunning. And then DJing at UK Black Pride, and we did the We Create Space event together. So even I've seen you, as someone that doesn't know you that well, step into your own a little bit. Does it feel nice to have other people witness those steps, those changes?
Yes, it does, because I think much more responsibility start with me because I've been that kind of person who's quiet. Ever since I was a kid, I've been quiet. I've been the person who likes to lead from the back. I just want to see, observe, be the person who is always under the shadows, never wanting to like let anybody know that I can like I can take credit for this work or that work. I just want to be, the person at the background, the production guy, like the production guy is just the person at the behind the camera and everything. So this year has pushed me to step forward, because it's much more of a bolder, like it's much more of it's like I've been standing on a line, and I know what I want is in front of me,
Mm,
but timid to step forward to get it. But then there's that conversation having with, I would say, my higher self, and we had that chat, and he stood by my side, and I was like, everything you want in life is right there. All you just have to do is just take the step. You don't have to see it all. All you have to do is just take that step. And the moment opportunities mentally, when I mentally got to where I want to be, mentally, that's when these opportunities start coming up,
yeah.
like standing in front of the camera, and or going or mixing in my room here and deciding, let me click live on Instagram, like let people see that I have skills. Let me people see me playing
Yeah.
music, because it's something I would never do, because I would never want someone to see me, because I was afraid, But at the same time, I'm coming to learn that fear, it was actually my courage. It's the thing that I needed to step forward. So even when Phil was like, I'm not able to make it because of this and that, and I entrust you to go, and if we win, speak, because the world needs to hear you, needs to hear what you have to say, needs to hear from a Black African trans man. And I had all the excuses in the world, all of them, all that fear, the thing I've been building up, the standing in the camera on Instagram Live, all that. I wanted to like burn everything out and say, no, I can't do it. But I just accepted it out of faith. I was like, let me just do it. Let me just do it. Let's see what happens. Let me just do it. Let me just be. And if I hadn't mentally put myself there, I would have never been there. So me mentally preparing myself and being in a space where I had to be seen, I needed to be seen, is what opened opportunity for me to be seen and for me to be heard. So it's more of a mental preparation more than a physical thing, because the opportunities come when my mind was right.
I mean, it's beautiful when someone sees you as well and encourages you to take those steps, and then stepping into that trust and accepting that trust and saying, yeah, I belong to be up here. You belonged on that stage that evening, and it was a beautiful thing to witness. And it's really interesting hearing you talk about overcoming fear, because with my own fear of public speaking not that long ago, like I'm talking 6 years ago,
Not you.
um
Not
it's
you.
yeah, it's still scary sometimes. It's still, but it's so important because you won't regret trying. And I think that I there have been opportunities where I haven't accepted it, where I've thought I've let the fear take over, and then I spend months in regret.
I know, because what happens is you let this feeling overwhelm you, and it kind of like it arrests every nerve of your body, and now you don't even remember your name, you know. If you are asked like out of the blue, like how old are you, you can't even tell because you've allowed that fear to cripple you. But then what it was meant to be, it plays a vital role, because that fear, what it does, it reminds you you're human, because it is a human attribute. Because when the fear comes up, it's supposed to plunge you out. It's supposed to make you step out of. It's more like, are you a fan of animes?
Not a massive fan, but know quite a bit about anime.
Yes. Every anime story is always some child or someone or a character that has been beat down, challenging upbringing and everything. And all that is a setup. We all know the story is
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to be a hero and everything, you know. Yeah, they're going to defeat everyone, you know, be the person that people idolize and everything. But what we don't see, or what we're now investing in when you're watching those animations, is the storyline, how they got to become that character that can be able to fight and be able to challenge it. Those challenges, those failures, those everything. So when you're presented, when I feel like I usually say like it's more of a mental game. When you're mentally there, you have to mentally see it before you step physically to it. So, but that takes time, because it takes failures. It takes that I don't feel like I can do it. That all that builds to it, because now you're courageously against the odds, swimming against the currents. And yes, fear. It may look like something that is not spoken more, but it's usually what gives us, it's the element that actually makes us step out of what we need to step into.
Yeah. I mean, that answer is giving so much main character energy in terms of your story as well. So absolutely here for that. And actually, it's a lot of the premise of this podcast. It's focusing on it's focusing on people's origin stories, which is what this is all about, and seeing who they are now and where they've come from. Are you okay to talk about UK Black Pride for a minute? We just celebrated 20 years. How are you feeling?
I feel much more honored, to be honest. There've been people who've been there for the 20 years, because I've been in the UK for like 3 years now, and I've only worked with UK Black Pride from 2024. So let's say 2.5 years or two
Yeah.
years. Yeah, going 2 years. And there's been work that has been happening when I was not there. So it's and this is where you get entrusted with something that someone else has built, and you can only be given such kind of responsibility if you've also been taking care of who you are. So when I stepped into the scene, and that's when Dr. Phyll had, oh wow, Dr. Phyll had left Kaleidoscope Trust, and is now becomes the CEO of UK Black Pride. It was an honor to move with her, because I was her PA back there
Yeah,
then.
I
Yeah,
remember.
so it was an honor to move with her and to be in a space where now it's a black owned space. Like you can be yourself. You don't have to fear doing something and it becomes like cringy, you know, like not that back then I couldn't be able to come to a meeting with a durag or something like that. But what I'm saying is there's just something about being in an environment where someone knows the weight of being who you are, like is able to see that part of you that needs to come out, that feels like you're an imposter. So now you're not feeling it. Now you are in a place where it's all hugs, it's all love, it's all solidarity. It's an accumulation of struggles. You know, it's an accumulation of challenges that are familiar. So you're like, yeah, I've gone through that. I've been through this. Yeah, we can do this. We can do that. Let's push this. So it's much more of a united front, and it makes me take care of UK Black Pride more, and be honored to be in a space where someone has built for 20 years. and you stepping into it is like, wow, like the guys who founded it before, like it's just hands down. And 20 years, like 20 years, a lot of people don't even reach 20 years old. So it speaks rootedness, like being well grounded on the earth, and so that you're able to stand. It's like a tree that is strong. The trunks are strong, and that is the challenges year by year by year to where it has grown to become the biggest black pride in the world.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful event. And I had a chat with Sava. Sava was the guest before you, and those words, fueled by love, solidarity, togetherness, through the challenges and the joy, really stands out. Did you enjoy the day?
Whoa. I was honored to start on stage on
You
the
killed
day.
it on
Like
the decks.
deep house music. You know how I looked at it, like when the opportunity came to me, I didn't look at it like, no, I'm going to be playing on an opening set. I looked at it as much more of me opening the airwaves for setting the pace for how the event will continue. So even opening it is, for me, I looked at it from a spiritual perspective. I looked at it
Yeah.
like you are the one, like you're cutting the ribbon so that it starts. And I don't know if everyone else saw it the way I saw it, but it was like, whoa, that is huge, and that's how I saw it. I enjoy it. My friends came down to London to see me play. I saw people that I've not seen in a while, usually because we are in different places. So when we come together, you see people in person, you're enjoying it. Everyone, the food was lovely, the vibes were giving, guys were dressed up to man.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing vibes, amazing vibes that are in the air. And yeah, you could see like everyone is happy, like everyone was looking forward to it. It was beautiful. That's all I can say.
Yeah, same. Loved it. It was my fourth year of going, and just it's just such an important and needed and cherished space. I think just fueled by love. And I can't wait to see you DJ again. 100% need to see you DJ again, because it's like you look like you were having the best time up there.
I did DJ a week on Sunday at the Buy Plus Community Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for after party DJ. It was lovely. Libby reached out to me like, hey, come DJ. We saw you do your thing as UK Black Pride, And I was like, yeah, let me come support you. They also had their challenges like us. We had challenges with
Yeah.
like sponsorship and stuff. They also did. So, and I was like, yeah, let me go and support them. Let
Love
me go
that.
and bring the energy that I have, which is beautiful, to that space.
Yeah.
And I felt that was the assignment. So yeah, I'll keep my like socials, like really communicating where else I'll be.
Please do. And if anyone listening needs a DJ, hit someone up.
Most definitely.
I am so excited to dive into your origin story. As I say, been loving getting to know you over the last couple of years, and this conversation, we're going to do that even more. So, are you ready to pause and rewind? Here we go. Take me back. Tell me all about little Timon.
I'll say little Sue because Timon came from Sue.
Okay.
So I grew up in a household with loving mom, loving parents, but I never really remember my dad because he passed on when I was too young to remember. But yeah, my brothers usually tell me stories about him and the relationship I had with him, because he passed on when I was 2 years old. I can't remember. But other than the pictures in the house, that's how I remember. And we kind of look alike, or rather, I look like him. Yeah, I look like him, And so 4 brothers, let me say 6 brothers, because 2 passed on. Yeah, 6 brothers, and I was the girl, the only girl. So, and we also lived with cousins who were like boys in the house. And from way back, my nickname was Sue, from Susan. The name, my government name, Susan. So it was short Sue. That's why I say it's little Sue. So little Sue was timid, quiet, You can imagine everyone is an adult other than my younger brother, who is like a year younger than me. In that kind of household, you don't really get hurt because everyone is older, everyone is mature, everyone is bigger, guys are talky. And as a young child, you don't get your voice really heard, in those situations. So even when something tragic, something you don't have or you want, you can't really be heard unless you have to wait for your mom to come from work so that you're like, hey mom, this and that. And it's not until when I became older that I understood my mom was actually struggling. You really don't know as a child what your parents are going through until you become an adult too, and you're like, yeah, now I know. Like, oh, I remember I couldn't have the bike I wanted, the video game I wanted, the toys I wanted because she could not afford them. Other kids in the neighborhood had them, and I'm like, and I kept on questioning, why don't I have these things? Why is it that everyone has a father and I don't? But I didn't understand, like, my father passed on. That was not communicated to me properly. I had to learn by myself when I stumbled upon you need to understand, I was born in 1986. So before internet, and now we have internet. So before internet, we didn't have like phones. So we had when you come to everyone's house, there was used to be a photo album with like your childhood pictures, your cousins and everyone else in there, And I stumbled upon my father's picture, and I kept on asking, "Who is this? Who is this? Who is this?" And that's when my mom told me that's your dad. He passed on and stuff like that. And I also stumbled upon. It was also I all discovered stuff through stumbling upon stuff in the house. I saw another album which was hidden, and it was funeral pictures, and I could see myself. I saw little Sue, like when I stumbled into those pictures. Let's say I'm like 7 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I see the 2-year-old who is trying to, walk in those pictures, and I'm like, oh, so this is the funeral. So now it's starting to dawn on me that I'll never see him. I don't even remember him. Now growing up in that kind of household with brothers, so I wanted to dress like them. I wanted to, be like them. So that's why I kept on hearing, when I used to play around in the neighborhood, I kept on hearing neighbors call me tomboy, tomboy, and I didn't understand what the word is. At some point, I actually thought my name is Tom. Oh man, I thought my name is Tom because tomboy, tomboy. I literally thought my name was Tom for a while, but I'm like, but I'm Sue. Why are you calling me tomboy? I didn't know what that name was. Then my mom explained to me, they're calling you that because you're behaving like a boy. You need to start behave like a girl. I didn't even know there's a difference. I didn't know because I was so used to being with the boys, even in the neighborhood, playing with them. I didn't see any difference here, because I was just a child. I'm playing rough like them, getting hurt, climbing trees, walls, fences, and it just stressed my mom out because every time I'd come home in the evening, because we used to be released to play during the day, and you're coming back home in the evening, I'd have like a scar, there's always some injuries, And she's like, why don't you behave like a girl? She really tried. And right now I have the understanding what she was going through because I can imagine, I was like ungovernable, always playing rough with them. And Sue was, I found safety in being like a boy when I was young because I didn't feel like I was fitting with being a girl. So my mom was trying to train me to let's say correct it.
Yeah.
Or should I say? So she would send me when schools will close, she'd send me to my cousins' places, homes, and there are much more girls in the household than boys, and I would still feel out of place.
Yeah.
So
Was it a struggle? Was it a struggle going from that environment where you felt safe in who you were, surrounded by the boys, and being able to be you, to then being in an environment that didn't make you feel that? How did that make you feel?
it felt like I was putting a performance all the
Okay.
time. Because
Right.
yeah, because you have to dress like this, sit like this. Because it was always like feeling performative, and I could not wait to go back home. Because I know when I go back home, I'm putting on shorts and trousers.
Yeah. Love that.
Putting on a cape. Like yeah, because my friends are like, I can't wait to see my friends. Because most of my friends were boys, and stuff like that. So growing up, like the 7-year-old me, something happened, being outside, being left outside, because since I was too confident being in the area, everybody knew me, everybody knew in the estate. But now the unfortunate thing happened with that is that someone an older man in the estate took advantage of that and sexually abused me.
Okay.
Now remember, I come from a house where it's all adults. And when he did that, it was much more like touching me inappropriately. Let me say that. So when he did that, he tell me, "Don't tell anyone. If you tell, that's a bad thing. If you tell someone this is what you did, it's a bad thing." So I was afraid. I was already in a household of adults, so I still felt like my voice was not heard, and I felt like I wanted to say this happened to me, but I couldn't because I was afraid it was a bad thing. I went with what the adults told me it was a bad thing. Until one day, it kept on going on until one day the wife of that man caught him rather. And I thought, I'm free. I thought, finally someone is going to put a stop to this, And lo and behold, I thought they would scold the older guy because he's the older person and I'm the young person. I'm the child there. Instead, the anger was lashed back at me. Remember, 7-year-old girl?
Yeah.
That anger was lashed at me. And it confused me completely. And that's where I remember I started to bottle. Never spoke. I was completely silent. And my mom would ask me, what's wrong? And it's nothing, because now I think what was happening with my mind is I was conflicted. This adult world, what's happening? What is this world? I thought if this is exposed, then I am free. But I was also like now being told I'm the bad person,
Yeah.
So fast forward to now becoming a young adult, I still felt like I'm in the wrong body, always felt like, remember that feeling of being like a boy and stuff was way even before the abuse happened. So it's not because I was abused that
Yeah.
it was way before. So growing older, early teenage, I'd still go with the program of I was taking, when you're in primary school, like we are mixed, we're all mixed, boys and girls and stuff. But now when you go to high school, there's a choice for going to all girls school, all boys school. Boys will go to all boys schools, and then there are schools that were mixed. But I was taken to one girls school because now my mom needed to fix that, my behavior and everything, hoping that will change, when I'm much more in an environment. But now it became weirder for me because there were things that were happening to me. I'm being an adolescent. There were changes happening to me, like as an adult, now becoming an adolescent, transitioning to an adult. But now where, those people like peer groups would come and try to train us about sexual education and stuff like that. And I thought, then this is where the switch happens. I'll start feeling, sexual attraction to men. But no, it didn't happen like that. It actually happened the other way. And I would, even in high school, I'd look at girls of my age and be like having some feelings for them. And I'm like, what is going on? Remember, I don't even know that the word homosexuality exists.
Yeah. No language, no terminology, no reference, no role models. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a word like that. I never knew there was a word like that until I was 16.
Okay.
That's the first time I came across the word called homosexuality. Then, and it was a friend who told me that, she was like, "Are you homosexual?" I'm like, "What is that?" Like for me, it was a big vocabulary then. What is that?
What did something click when she said it?
I really didn't know what it is until she explained it. So she explained it, like we went through the dictionary, and like someone is attracted to the same sex. Oh, so that's what's happening to me, So she was like really my home girl and stuff. She's like, that's exactly what's happening. You could be that, but don't say it publicly because it is against
Right.
God stuff. It's against God, because she also gave me like scripture references about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's against God, but I'm feeling it. Like, how do I relate that,
That recognition that you were feeling it, did it come with any shame? Did it come with just this is who I am?
No, it was cool. It was like, oh, it was cool. But now the thing is, what made it even cooler for me is, remember I told you I used to hang out with boys. Now when you're teenagers, now the boys are becoming men and stuff like that. One of my friends was my neighbor, like, yo, let me show you something, because we were like boys, let me show you something, and that's the first pornographic tape I ever saw in my life. Like he just used to have those video records, those video record black things.
Yeah.
We put them in, and it didn't have a label and stuff, and he put it in, and I was like, oh, so I saw two girls making out, and I'm like, oh yeah, and like, yeah, you're like them, He was trying to tell me, he was trying to give me a hint. So I was like, oh, so I'm not abnormal, it's something that is happening out there in the world,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, because I had zero experience, so just a teenager and stuff.
Yeah.
So that it was very confusing for me, because in as much as there was, like now I was like, now I'm trying to understand why people, like the neighbors call me a tomboy. Then now it made sense, it wasn't that I'm Tom, and a boy, but now it's like, oh, there's no, now the terms are coming in, the vocabulary, like these lesbians, and my entire 20s, I was a lesbian, but still, I felt like, no, I'm not a girl. There was just a thing like, and I'm not completely settled in. There's something still within me that wanted to come out.
Taking it back to your teenage years against a backdrop of a big family and not feeling like you had much of a voice, understandable in a big family for younger people, sexual abuse and the anger, the backlash that came against you, and then confused feelings. How did you cope with all of that at such a young age? Were you able to find a voice to tell someone? What was support like around you? Or was it just a case of you continued to bottle things up?
I continued to bottle it up. I never told anyone until I was older enough to talk about it. And when I would talk about it, I'd speak to the partners I had. Like the relationship, intimate partners that I had. Those are the only people that I spoke to about it. Like, this happened to me, and it was much more of an outcry, because I'd feel like I needed to say something. Someone needed to hear me, And I don't think I've ever told my brothers any of this. Like, I don't think they know.
I was about to ask about retrospective conversations, actually, with family. Nothing.
I bottled, because I felt like I could not speak. I felt like, because that voice kept on telling me I'm the bad person for allowing this to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, which adult would I tell? Because this is an adult. So it kind of gave me a general, it spread a blanket on adults. That's what they would think. They would think I'm the bad person. So I kept quiet until I became an adult. That's when I was able to speak. And when speaking, I will only speak about it with my intimate partners.
I guess, what does healing look and feel like for you off the back of that? Given that was happened to a very young Timon, what does healing look like today? Like, is it something that you have been able to move on from and understand and accept that it's not your fault? And how does it feel?
For me, healing came through spiritual practice.
Okay.
That's where, like, there's a point where I started questioning, like, does God exist? Those existential questions, like,
Huge.
Why am I here? We all get there where you're like, what's the purpose of all this? And now the journey to self, that's where the healing began, is where I started wanting to understand, like, Now to differentiate little Sue and Timon. Well, those are completely different entities. Completely different entities. I didn't realize when I was healing Timon, little Sue was crying out for help. But it was she was crying out for help through anger, being nonchalant, being quiet, and also trying to numb her voice by, drinking alcohol, smoking, getting myself into bad behaviors and stuff like that. So that journey of let me figure out who Timon is when I realized I came across there's something called an inner child. I wouldn't have figured it out if I didn't decide to step out of what we would call traditional spiritual path. I wanted to understand broader than what I know, like, because I was from a Christian home. These are the rules, it came, the Bible is like, these are the set of rules, abide by them. But then I kept on feeling like there's more than just this. Yeah. Why are there Muslims? Why are there Hindus? Like, do they have the same rules? So that curiosity made me dabble into other things. And that's when I came into Carl Jung's writings about the subconscious and the inner child, the shadow and the higher self. Oh, there are different aspects of you. And I started questioning, like, so what am I if there's shadow, there's higher, there's lower, there's child? So I was much more now curious about the child. And I didn't understand why I would, in as much as I'm in that process of getting to know Timon, trying to improve who Timon is, trying to become a better person, trying now even to realize, oh, I'm actually not really a lesbian. I'm actually a trans man. Even that journey of being able to let go of this, shed out and let go of this identity to step into something else. But I still got myself hooked up with the same bad behaviors, like drinking, getting into like just engaging into antisocial behavior. And I, even when I tried so hard not to get into that state, I would say it, to break out of that state, I'd still come back, relapse all the time. Yeah. And I didn't understand, why am I relapsing? Until I realized it's actually little Sue crying out. And I am trying to numb her voice by drinking. Yeah. What I thought was, it runs in the family, It runs in the family, drinking runs in the family, was actually me giving an excuse and silencing her voice. So there's a whole story behind how I rescued her, and I'm allowing her to speak more nowadays, more than me speaking.
It's you explain it in such a beautiful way, and in a way that I've not heard before, around those two very distinct identities of little Sue and Timon. And I wonder, what was the moment that you felt fully you?
Oh, Nell, what I can say is healing is a mess. It's messy. It's very messy. Healing is very messy. And it's easy for you to like get caught up in physically want to do things right, rather than trying to understand the root cause of. Yeah. So in my process of trying to like break these habits and become a better person, it always took me back to that 7-year-old little Sue that got abused. So this is what happened. I had a dream, and this is where it gets interesting. I had a dream, and in the dream, I was back in the house where I grew up, where little Sue was, and everyone else, it was loud. And my brother was in that in that dream as well. And I told my brother, hey, yo, let me go to the kitchen and like do some dishes. So when I went to the kitchen to do the dishes, in the dream, it looked like it was night. Because outside it was dark. And where the sink was the window was just on top of the sink. And when I was doing the dishes, I saw little Sue outside with the same clothing she wore when she got sexually abused. It was like a white dress with laces and like a knitted a woolen knitted sweater with one button. And I'm like, what are you doing out there? It's at night, it's scary. And she was just standing there. Until it came to me that when I woke up, that I need to get her in the house where it's safe.
Okay.
Because she was outside. So all this time I'm trying to fix, going lengths without drinking, cutting this habit, being much more a responsible adult. She was always outside scared. Because something happened to her outside. That's where it happens. So I had, and this is where NLP is beautiful, is because in as much as you slept and had a dream about something, you can always go back to that point mentally. And that's where, even in the beginning, I told you, until you see it mentally, you can never step into what you need. So what I did is I sat in a meditation posture. I took myself mentally. I recreated the dream again, took myself there, recreated it, went back to that same kitchen. And what I did is I went outside where she was and I stood next to her. She still looked scared. And with the assistance of my higher self, I told her, let's go in the house where it's safe. And she willingly climbed on top of my higher self. Like, you know how you can carry kids from the top here? That's what she did, onto my higher self. And she walked, and they walked. I'm observing from a place where I'm an observer. I'm observing my higher self and my inner child having a communion. And my higher self was like a rescue mission to take her into the house. And ever since, I could see aspects, I could see parts of me that are very childish, and I allow it to happen. I allow that childishness because it was robbed of me when I was still young. So where I feel like very childish, I need to express myself in a childish way, I let it, because now suppressing it will be increasing my shadow aspect. Yeah. So it was in discovering and trying to reinvent Timon that I had to rescue little Sue. She had to be rescued.
Do you think that maybe the distinction was creating that distinction in your mind between them and then allowing it to soften has been part of that?
I agree. It was until I became much more gentler to me is when I was able to reach out to her, even to know that she needed that help.
Yeah.
And this is the interesting thing about intimate relationships, because they mirror who we are or what needs work on us. Because I met someone who is very phenomenal, and they kept on trying to tell me, like, I need to be much more softer to myself because, it's not an excuse. I'm a Capricorn. I want to work hard. I need to earn what I have. I felt like I needed to prove that I belong and stuff like that. There's always that thing about Capricorns and wanting to like step and do over what they need to do. And it didn't hit me until later, when I was like, the only way I could reach out to truly reach out to my inner child was to be a little more gentle and softer to myself first. It will have never happened. If that mirroring in that relationship didn't happen, I don't think I will be able to see. Because now that's where the beauty about the people that come to our lives, they come, sometimes you might feel like they came for a short period, but maybe they just came to bear that message for you so that you're able to fix whatever you have with you. Yes, I agree. I had to be a little more gentler with Timon first, to be able to know, oh yeah, there's this that also needs to be taken care of. Yeah.
How much do you think that we've spoken about the abundance, right? Then you feeling like your world is limitless. How much is that of that is tied to taking the lid off the bottle that you once experienced and continuing that journey?
I think it's in the abundance. For me, time is not linear. And that's how I was able to go back and rescue her.
Mm.
So there's this from 7 years old. Right now I'm 39. There's a whole years there that she did not get to experience.
Mm.
So the abundance, what I'm saying is the room where my world where I'm seeing so much stuff is usually from the things I did not get to experience, that you shouldn't get to experience.
Yeah.
So all these things are there.
Yeah.
They are now available to me. And also standing from a place of where it's neutral, because it's also stuff that I also get to experience that I'm yet to. So it's not physical.
Yeah.
It's not material at all. It's the joys, the laughters that have accumulated when she needed to be 14, when she needed to be 21, when she needed to be 28, when she needed to be 32. All that accumulation, I look at it like a treasure, quantity of emotions, of things, of ideas that are to my disposal to share with the world. And only Timon is able to have the strength to take the stuff that belong to little Sue and share them with the world. So that lead doesn't even exist for me. But it had to take a little bit of bruising, messiness, and hurting, and courage, and mentally realizing that it's always been me who's been on my way, and to take it out.
Yeah.
And to allow it to come out. It's
Yeah.
like Jack in the box,
Yeah.
It's like Jack in the box. So you don't know Jack is in the box until you open it, Woo!
Yep. Yeah. And there's no putting him back in afterwards.
There's no, there's no going back.
When you think about, obviously kind of the career that you're forging now, executive assistant, DJ, activist, when you think about that, what did you initially want to do when you...
This is interesting. Ever since I was a kid, this is what my brothers used to tell me. Ever since I was a kid, there used to be like a TV advert, and it's called Princess Patra. I think it's an advert about like a lotion and stuff like that. And when that advert came, it had like disco lights. So it's like Princess Patra. It has that jazzy sound, And every time that ad came through, my bros would tell me I would be over the moon, and there's something about sound and me. I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to be in music, doing something to do with music, And interestingly, I gave myself chances. When I was before I was a teenager, I wanted to rap, because my brother used to have a lot of records in the house and stuff. I wanted to be like, and I did that. I gave myself, after I finished high school, I gave myself a chance. I became a rapper, and I think I rapped till I was a rapper till I was like 23, 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I could drop some lines and stuff, I'd go perform and stuff, and I'd let that go, because now, back then, music didn't pay the way it does right now. We used to, if you're selling records, it used to be either a physical copy with CDs or cassettes and stuff. Right now it's digital, everyone can have access to it. The revenue isn't the same, so I had to stop doing that, and that's how I got into the line. I really didn't know I wanted to be an executive assistant until I was given an opportunity. So I've always done stuff because my brothers are doing it. You understand?
Okay.
So my brother used to be he was a computer engineer. I was like, I'm going to college and I want to do computer engineering. I never really figured out what is for me. I've always wanted to do what other people are doing. But I knew DJing and rapping, it was all I wanted to do, but it doesn't pay. You know, like I was being told, get a serious career. That's not a career, you know, stuff like that. Then interestingly, I was given a chance by an amazing contractor, road contractor. He was given a project in Nairobi to construct certain roads, and I was the project administrator there. So it took like 3 years working as a project administrator. Then he gave me a chance because he was built in a different town.
Yep.
When that project ended, I was like, oh, now what is it for me now? And he was like, yo, you can come to Eldoret and work for my organization as my company as now the company administrator. So that's how I became the company administrator. Then my brother was like, wait, you're moving cities? I'm like, yeah, I'm moving cities. That's just within Kenya, you know? And he mentioned something. He told me, you're following your father's path. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, our dad was an administrator. I'm like, wait, you're joking. Proof. He shows me pictures and pictures of my dad behind the desk and stuff. You remember those telephones where you'd ring them like this? He was posing like that was a thing back then where you'd pose with the telephone and stuff. And like your role is on the desk if you're the administrator. And I'm like, whoa. Like the fruit doesn't fall far off from the tree, you know? And I'm like, damn, without even knowing, I was doing something he was doing. And it kind of takes me back to how sometimes ancestors live through who we are right now, you know? And from there, I came to the UK. And at first I thought maybe I should try some of these other bigger organizations to be an administrator and stuff. And that's when I saw like it being advertised, like Kaleidoscope Trust are looking for an admin and a PA. And I'm like, damn.
Amazing.
You're like, okay, let me do it. Let me just apply it because I have like years and years of qualification for being an administrator, but I've never been a PA, so I really didn't know how I'm gonna navigate that and stuff. Went for the interview, was first selected for the interview. I didn't even believe that would happen. Went for the interview, and I nailed it. And that's when I met Phyll, and that's where my journey with Phyll began at Kaleidoscope Trust.
Amazing.
And it's just been a relationship that has been growing professionally and all round.
Yeah. I've got a couple more questions left for you on this segment, but Kaleidoscope Trust, did that happen shortly after you moved to England?
Like, it didn't even take 3 months.
Really?
I already landed a job, yeah.
And what was that shift like, that cultural shift from Kenya to England? And then did landing the role at the Kaleidoscope Trust and meeting Phyll, did that really change that shift?
I always felt like there's always something taking care of me, or there will always be someone placed where I go that is supposed to take care of me. So I was not sure if I already was disqualifying myself, like, oh man, the only experience I have is in Kenya, you know, and now I have never worked with white people. This is new, it's in a foreign country and stuff. But I just kept on believing in myself. But seeing her being there, kind of gave me like, hey, you are seeing a mirror. And that's why I kept on saying, like, relationships do mirror. Like, this person is mirroring back to you what you could be or what you could be able to achieve. So that's what made me comfortable to be in that space. And actually, it stripped me off that imposter syndrome thing, because it's actually made. When you're having an imposter syndrome rather, it's you tripping on yourself, and you're feeling foreign, but your quality of work speaks. You are able to, but you're downplaying yourself. That's fear camouflaging now into different things. So once I identified it's actually fear, and I was able to see Phyll as a mirror of what I'm able to achieve, what I'm capable of being. It all like it was like vaporized, and I'm like, yeah, they're also human beings like me, and I realized, yeah, they're working for a charity and they care about people. They're actually trying to help people back home and their livelihoods and their lives, and it changed everything for me, because her being there changed how I looked at like in terms of working with people who are different race for me, different backgrounds for me.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. My next question was actually going to be, talk to me about someone who has shaped you the most along the way.
Oh.
I feel like we might have just gone there.
We might, yeah. She kind of, what I've realized with Phyll is she has so much grace. She's able to see what you can't see, and she won't like directly point to you like, hey, you're the person, you're the guy. So she will always throw to you challenges to make you realize, oh, you actually can able to take this much and accomplish it, and give you grace at the same time to be able to do it and with your own pace. So she allows you, what she does is she creates an environment where she allows you to nurture yourself. It's like how you can take a plant from outside and bring it back in, pot it. So that whole environment, that's her aura. That's what it does. It allows you to bloom how in your own pace, the way you need to bloom, and nothing is like catalyzed or anything. Just being around her makes you see who you are. It's almost like you're constantly peeling layers like an onion, and you're trying to see the essence of who you are, and you definitely get to see who you are and what you're capable of.
Amazing. None of that comes as a surprise. Like, my final question for you for this segment, Timon, is, looking back so far, what are you most proud of to date?
That I gave myself a chance.
Oh,
because so many opportunities came to me, and there was always that person on the left side of your shoulder telling you, that's not for you. Sit back, know your place. And those are the voices that we've carried with ourselves for years of abuse, or years of being put down, years of people not believing in you. So that voice there is like, nah, that's not for you, sit down. But then there's that other side of you that's like, who else if it's not you? Who else if it's not you? So I constantly gave myself chances, even when I fell off, even when I relapsed, even where I didn't deserve it. I woke up the next day and like, let's do this. Let's grind. Let's show up. Let me just do it. Let me just do it, because this is my life. So I kept giving myself chance after chance. I didn't realize I was healing myself when I was doing that, because there are experiences in life where nobody actually really believes in what you're able to do, And me giving myself that chance was me allowing myself to break barriers that nobody in my family could ever do. People like where I come from in Nairobi, we don't get these chances. We don't actually get to where I have reached right now. Like I'm sitting and having a conversation with you. We actually don't. So I might look like the black sheep, or I might look like someone who will not have, nobody believe I could make it. But I did not allow the external voices to dictate how I wanted my life to be. I decided this is what I want, and I went for it. Whether I felt like I qualified for it or not, I gave myself that chance.
Wow. That's so powerful. I don't think we give ourselves enough chances. Yeah.
Yeah, we are strict on ourselves. Like, we give other people chances, but rarely do we actually give ourselves, like,
Yeah.
even telling yourself, I think, you need a screen break, or relax a little bit, go to the park and just lie down on the grass.
Yeah.
We're like, nah, I have to perform. You know, you're being performative and being hard on you, you know. Forgiving yourself is also giving yourself a chance.
I was just about to say, it really ties back in. It ties back into that softness and that gentleness that you were talking about as well.
Yeah, because for me, that softness, Neil, to be honest, it's foreign for me.
Same.
It's foreign for me, and it's something I'm learning to embrace. And I reflected back. I did an introspection of all the relationships I had, friendships, and it's been teaching me that same lesson about softness. It was until this year then I realized it was me giving it to me, stepping into the softness, so that I'm able to reflect it back to other people. Because there was no way I was going to hand someone something I do not have. And that took forgiving myself, even forgiving the little Sue being vulnerable, being out there by herself playing, and that happened to her. I had to forgive her. I had to forgive the people that did not handle me the way they needed to. Everyone that crossed me wrongly, I had to forgive them, because what that happens, it strips the ego. And it allows the core part of you to be much more radiant. And that's where the softness, it requires that vulnerability, even that accepting that you need to touch the core of yourself. It can't happen if you don't offer it to you first. And you just, sometimes a warrior just has to put their sword down and be like, I need to take a rest here. I need to be more vulnerable myself here.
I think I needed to hear that right now.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The House of Happiness is London's ultimate sober clubbing extravaganza. We're led and delivered but created for all, whether teetotal, sober curious, or just taking a booze snooze. We love a day rave, and on a Saturday afternoon you can expect banging house tunes, DJs on decks, dancers on podiums, and a fully stocked alcohol-free bar. Flamboyant, bold, with a glitter station to boot. We're all about safe, inclusive fun, and we even have a pre-meet so that you can make new sober buddies before you hit the dance floor. Grab your tickets from Instagram now at House of Happiness Official, and we'll see you on the dance floor. Are you ready for some quickfire questions?
Shoot.
What album, book, or movie has had a lasting impact on you?
I was ready for this. I was ready for this.
Legend, the best of Bob Marley.
This is Bob Marley and the Wailers. This record. You know, let me tell you something about this record. When I grew up, my dad, the stuff now I remember, the stuff my dad left were like records, movies and stuff. And I used to be very fascinated by records, you know, the actual vinyls. And I remember watching some of the clips from this project on TV. I'd see the little kid. There was this particular image that's still in my mind of this little kid in Jamaica. And you see the bunch of banana in his head, wearing it like a dreadlock. And there's that freedomness. There's just freedomness with this particular record, especially Redemption Song. It's track number 4, side 2. And the second verse says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop us the time. How long shall we kill our prophets? How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's a prophecy, but we've got to fill the book, which is the Bible. Would you help to sing our songs of freedom? It's all I ever had, a redemption song. That song gives me, it's morning for me, like, and there's something about singing that makes you break the shackles of your own mental slavery. The things, and I'll keep saying, if you can try grab an NLP book, neuro linguistic programming, and try to undo some of the things that were done to you, to that innocent child of you, the program, the frameworks that were placed on you, that just try to undo them. Try to see the world differently. For me, I see it through music. I see it through film, especially music. And this project by Bob Marley changed my life. It really did.
I can hear that. I can hear it. I can feel it for sure.
Yeah.
What's a saying that you live by and one that you put in the bin?
The saying I live by is the all is mind, the universe is mental. And that comes from the Kabbalion Three Initiates. Nobody really knows who's the author of this book. It has 7 principles to live by, and the first principle is the principle of mentalism, where it says the all is mind. Everything is mind. Mind is not the brain. Mind is that perspective where you're able to step out beyond physical. So everything is mind, and the universe is mental. I live by that. And what I'll push to the bin is a quote. Actually, it's a misquote. It's a misquote that says blood is thicker than water. But the correct one should be the blood of the covenant is thicker than the womb, or the water of the womb.
Ooh.
Like the covenant of the blood, the people you mate, that you feel like they are your blood. The blood, it breaks the barriers of race, culture, everything. If you decide to have a covenant with, it's much more thicker than the womb of the water of the womb, people who you were born with. So ancestry is not only a lineage of the birth path, it's also the connections and networks you build out here.
Oh, and that speaks so beautifully to the importance of chosen family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you've just pointed out that's a misquote as well.
People always misquote it, and I'm like, nah, you are saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Blood is not thicker than water. The covenant of the blood is thicker than the womb of the water.
Yeah. I learned something new there. Thank you. What's been the best adventure of your life so far?
Cape Town. I went to Cape Town last year, November, and it was amazing. What particularly made it amazing was that when I went to the coast, the beach, where there are like a huge rocks, and one of my friends told me, you need to go there and dip yourself into that water. It will bring good luck. That's what they say, when you dip yourself in the ocean, it will bring good luck. Let me go try it. So I went there and I dipped myself 3 times. What I thought was good luck, it was chaotic after that. My life was chaos after that. And I didn't realize, I thought it would be good luck. But this is what I did not see. For there to be anything new or blessing to come into your life, there has to be things that need to be removed from your life. And that removing, you have to now learn past the test of attachment, where you're attaching yourself to things and stuff. So I saw things fall off from my life, and it felt like my life is crumbling, like my world is falling down on me. And I'm like, why? Until I needed to be emptied so that things are poured back into me. So my visit to Cape Town was, and this is the interesting thing, I came to research later after coming from Cape Town, the place where in Cape Town. Its native name is actually called Kamisa. Kamisa meaning like a place of like water, refuge, and stuff. So the people of the Khoi and San used to go to Cape Town, Kamisa, to refresh, water their cattle and stuff, so that they can still continue with their like moving around. So it was a place of like refreshment, refreshing yourself, renewal. So I think that what happened to me, because it happened in November. Everything fell off November, December, and January. I was like being rebirthed. I was like shedding all skin. I'm now 8 months sober. Not drunk alcohol. But I decided, you know what? I am loving who I am sober. Like I'm loving the sobriety journey.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you're speaking to someone who's converted, like it changed my life. So yeah.
Woo. Yeah, love it.
Oh,
And I realize you can be a raver and still be sober.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. As a DJ, I can tell you.
We need to get you at the House of Happiness, Timon. We need to get you on the decks at the House of Happiness, 100%. What 3 words would you use to describe you and your origin story?
Luo. I'll explain that.
How do you spell it?
Luo, Luo. Luo.
Okay.
Luo is my tribe. That's my tribe. That's the tribe I come from.
Okay.
If I can just explain a little bit about that.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of my tribe. We are what we would call the Nilots. We are Nilots. Nilots are we like originally from Sudan, and then migrated down to, others went to Uganda, and we migrated around the Lake Victoria. So there are different Luo tribes. There are some in Ethiopia, there's some in South Sudan, there are some in Tanzania, there are some who are in Uganda and Kenya. So we kind of like settled around like what we call Lake Victoria right now. And and that's why you see me with lots of tattoos, because some of the rites we used to do back then was scarification, markings and stuff. So I never understood why I was so fascinated with tattoos until I read much more. I digged much more about my tribe, and we actually when you reach a certain age or pass through a certain rite to adulthood, you are given a mark to show that. It will show that, oh, this person is an adult, this person is a chief, this person is this and that. So that's how I decided to like keep my tattoos on me and stuff. Another word that will describe me is black. And another word that will describe me is Atman.
How do you say it?
Atman. Atman. Atman.
Are you happy to elaborate a little bit?
Good. Thank you. So the Atman is now this I'm going spiritually, because the Atman is the consciousness, the higher consciousness of being, where it's usually framed as a human, but it's visualized as a space with lots of stars in it, and it's black with lots of stars in it. And that signifies the possibility of eternity and anything, becoming anything and everything you want to become. So within the framework of the man, the Atman, you can reach out and become anything, evolve into anything you want in life. So that makes me, it kind of like makes me appreciate the journey from Kenya, being a Luo, being black, being African, and now becoming who I want to be. It's within me. Like I can only limit myself to what I want to become.
Those might be the most beautiful 3 words and the story behind them I've heard so far. Like, thank you. That's stunning. I love the flow of those as well. Let's fast forward a little bit. What exciting things do you have coming up?
Yes, I just came from a call with someone called Eve Omondi, and she's running an organization back in Kenya, in Nakuru, and it's called YCN. That's Youths for Come on. Let me bring it up. Yeah, Youths for Change Network. So it's a feminist group, and what they've done is they've brought people like young girls, queer girls. They are in their LBQ, and what they're doing is they're getting themselves into like inclusive spaces through sports and art. So I gave a proposal to them because I love what they do. They have a football team, and they're having challenges with maybe kids and stuff. And I love them being able to convene women from that region and be able to play football. They're passionate about sports and stuff. Because I remember growing up, like that's the thing I wanted to do, just play football and play basketball and or anything like that, and just being in a space where of art, because it's a space where you create. So I approached her with wanting to be a patron for the organization, and it was a yes.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. Is that
Yeah.
news just freshly announced now?
It's fresh. It's fresh.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, and with that, I'll be much more giving visibility to the organization more and the work that they're doing, trying to fundraise for kids, for boots, for balls, for and for refreshments where they when they go for their football games, they have refreshments and everything. And yeah, YCN Kenya, I'll be your patron. Can't wait to put you guys on the map. I'm really excited about it. I just want, I love, I know talent when I see one.
Yeah.
When I saw them out there playing football, and all I could remember is myself trying to also be really active and just putting myself there, being creative and not getting involved in anything shady and stuff. So, yeah, I want to be their patron, and they've accepted it.
Huge congratulations, and they are
Thank
so
you.
lucky to have you. There's yeah, you're I love that.
So you will see much more of me being in advocacy more right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
I wanna create much more spaces, but I wanted to start somewhere with,
yeah,
and when I saw them do their stuff, I was like, I want to support them.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Like
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
What brings you joy?
Music, DJing, blending music. Even when I'm on a rough day and stuff. There's something when I jump on these decks or controllers and I just play especially deep house music or soulful music, house music. It just grounds me. Like I feel like it puts me in a place where I can express myself to be anything I want. And I feel like I'm in my element when I'm behind the decks. I'm completely in my element. I forget that even problems do exist. I even forget that it's me. I have sometimes I have to bring myself back.
Is that the
And
Atman state kind of?
exactly, that's
Yeah,
the Atman stage. Yeah.
I love this.
So music, especially house music, deep house music, it's just been, it's the thing that I'm always excited
Yeah,
to do.
hope to see more of it from you. My
Yeah.
final question for you is this.
Mm.
Do you have any words of encouragement or wisdom for anyone out there to help them get to wherever they're going?
Dream big. Don't be afraid of dreaming big, and mentally put yourself in a place where you are winning. Mentally, it doesn't matter the physical circumstances around you. Mentally, put yourself, collaborate with other people that are doing the same things you're doing. Learn from them, work with them, network with them, have conversations with them, come together, because there are few people, only 1% of few people who are able to venture out and do something by themselves on their own. But sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 minds and you become a block of an entity or something that can be. So dream big, like don't, that idea you have is not, it's a thing. Thoughts are things. So put it down, execute it, go all the way, learn from it, work with other people, believe as much as you can for as long as you can. Give yourself grace while you're doing it, and see you succeed. See yourself succeed. Yeah.
I Timon, thank you so much for such an enlightening and inspirational and nourishing conversation. Like, I feel like you were speaking to my heart and my soul with so much of what you've just shared. I am so grateful that you said yes and for the way you show up in the world and the wonderful work you do. I'm so excited for you with what's next and coming up, particularly with YSCN. And I can't wait to see you on the decks and in person soon.
I'm grateful to have you. You know, sometimes we just want to tell our stories, like my side of story, because you just never know. There's always someone out there who that's all they need. Sometimes that's what you need. I heard from someone else's story and it encouraged me to become who I am. So you giving me a chance to sit with you and just chat it up and have a conversation. I'm grateful for it. I'm not taking it for granted. And definitely you're going to see me out there. They'll see me out there.
Definitely am. Thank you so much. You are wonderful, and I'm so grateful to be to know you and to be in your spaces. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jude.
I said in the intro that there was so much in here that I needed to hear, and there really was. And I'm sure it will relate to many people right now in terms of the relentlessness that we're feeling, the overwhelm. Things feel heavy in the world. But there is a lot of joy to be had as well. And it's really beautiful when I asked that first question and Timon described their world right now as limitless and they're in an abundance flow and just really beautiful. And the way they've allowed themselves softness. That's something, again, I said in during the conversation, but I'm trying to channel with myself is that softness. And I think what struck me most is when I asked him on what are they most proud of, what's he most proud of? And he said, I'm most proud that I gave myself a chance. And having to say, if not you, then why, then who else? And being able to take those chances and run with them, even when we feel we don't deserve them, it really struck out to me. The three words that Timon used to describe their origin story also so beautiful. And Luo may relating to the tribe, their tribe, black, and in terms of that being a fundamental part of who they are, and Atman. Atman, what a beautiful word, right? Love the flow of those. And Timon's origin story. And as he said, healing is messy, and it really is, but it's fundamental in terms of discovering who our authentic selves are and how we show up in the world. This was such a beautiful conversation, and hearing Timon's story and discovery of their transness as well, and that healing little Sue and bringing them together. Just so epic. So Timon, thank you so much for being a guest on Pause and Rewind, for being so enthusiastic about having this conversation with me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoy. Please do like, subscribe, share, comment. Please do all the things. Help get these conversations out there. These stories deserve to be heard. Please stay tuned for more amazing guests on Pause and Rewind. Cheers.